Gnostic theology offers a profound vision of the cosmos, centered around the concept of the divine fullness, or pleroma. This spiritual framework is constructed from three interrelated components: the monad, or the one, the eons, and the pleroma itself. These elements not only define the structure of the divine realm, but also illustrate the intricate relationships within the spiritual universe. By examining each component in detail and exploring their influences on one another, we gain a deeper understanding of this mystical system. To ground this exploration, we will reference key Gnostic texts that provide insight into these sacred concepts. At the pinnacle of Gnostic cosmology stands the monad, the ultimate ineffable source of all existence. The monad is often described as a singular, transcendent entity, embodying absolute unity and purity. It is beyond human comprehension and is the origin of all things. In the Gospel of John, also known as the Apocryphon of John, the monad is depicted as follows. He is the invisible spirit, of whom it is not right to think of him as a god or something similar. For he is more than a god, since there is nothing above him, for no one lords it over him. He does not exist within anything inferior to him, since everything exists only in him. For it is he who establishes himself. He is eternal, since he does not need anything, for he is total perfection. He did not lack anything that he might be completed by it. Rather, he is always completely perfect in light. This passage highlights the monad's self-sufficiency, perfection, and transcendence. The monad influences the eons by emanating them, thus providing the foundational essence from which they derive. The eons are divine emanations from the monad, each representing different attributes or aspects of the divine. They are the inhabitants of the pleroma, and their relationships and interactions create the structure and dynamics of this divine realm. The Gospel of Truth explains the nature of the eons. The Father, or monad, brings forth the totality, and this totality is within him, and he within it, and it is perfect and indivisible. He is therefore a totality. It is he who established it. And he is within them. He is indivisible, simple, yet existing in multiplicity as the eons. The eons are directly influenced by the monad, as they are emanations of its essence. They, in turn, influence the pleroma by constituting its fullness and ensuring its harmonious operation. The pleroma represents the fullness of the divine realm, the spiritual universe filled with eons. It is the totality of divine powers and emanations, encompassing all that is spiritually real and perfect. The tripartite tractate offers a comprehensive view of the pleroma. The pleroma is the totality of the eons and the power which came into being in them. It is he who gave them their establishment and their being. He is not infinite but incomprehensible, since there is nothing before him to comprehend him. The pleroma is the limitation of the divine realm. The pleroma is both the expression and the manifestation of the monad's infinite potential, structured and sustained by the eons. The monad and the eons coexist as the eons emanate from the monad, reflecting its attributes and essence. As stated in the Apocryphon of John, the monad's act of emanation is a fundamental aspect of its nature, establishing a direct link and mutual presence between the two. The eons and the pleroma coexist as the eons are the essential components of the pleroma. The Gospel of Truth emphasizes that the totality of the eons within the pleroma is a direct reflection of the monad's perfection and unity. The monad and the pleroma coexist because the pleroma is the fullness of the monad's emanations. The pleroma is the manifestation of the monad's infinite nature, as described in the tripartite tractate, which highlights the pleroma's role in embodying the divine totality. The monad reinforces the eons by continually emanating them and sustaining their existence. This process is described in the Apocryphon of John, where the monad's act of self-establishment is also the act of emanating the eons. The eons reinforce the pleroma by structuring and populating it. Their interactions and relationships ensure the pleroma's dynamic harmony, as mentioned in the Gospel of Truth. By emanating the eons, the monad indirectly reinforces the pleroma. The pleroma, being the collective totality of the eons, stands as the ultimate expression of the monad's creative power and fullness. The triad of the divine fullness in Gnostic theology, monad, eons, and pleroma, presents a profound and interrelated spiritual cosmology. The monad, as the ineffable source, emanates the eons, which in turn constitute and inhabit the pleroma. This dynamic interplay reflects the core of Gnostic metaphysics, where the ultimate unity of the monad is expressed through the multiplicity and harmony of the eons within the pleroma. Through the lens of Gnostic texts, we gain a deeper appreciation of this divine structure and the relationships that sustain it, revealing a cosmos that is both deeply interconnected and profoundly spiritual.